Anyone else feel like they're watching their fellow humans fall into a trance and throw themselves off a cliff as they fall under a new propaganda spell convincing them the oligarchs have come to the rescue, the government is now the good guy, and America's
Golden Age.
Golden Age.
Golden Age.
Golden Age.
Golden Age.
Golden Age.
has arrived? The trance goes like this. Tulsi is the director of national intelligence, RFK Jr. is going to make us healthy, and Elon and the Doge are exposing corruption and waste. Cash is now the top cop. There's a task force to release classified documents, and Trump froze foreign aid. America's back, and the new ruling class is here to liberate and protect us while taking out the deep state. Finally, we're saved. It's tempting, and it sounds miraculous, until you look past the shadows on the wall to the character and behaviors of those casting them. While it's great and not hard at all or revelatory to expose government waste and corruption, how is Elon going to handle his own surveillance state and military-industrial contracts? Will SpaceX face scrutiny for buying bipartisan influence in the broken system he and the oligarchy now rail against? How is Doge any match for the current House Republican budget proposal, which is slated to increase the deficit by hundreds of billions each year? The Senate overwhelmingly voted against an amendment to make significant spending cuts to their version of the astronomical budget. Is a public-private partnership with some of the most powerful tech people who are pushing biometric digital IDs and envisioning total surveillance taking down the deep state? Is advancing artificial intelligence in government, especially in the military and the CIA, to the benefit of Silicon Valley tycoons what MAGA voted for? Are mRNA AI cancer shots and poultry injections Maha? Is the new seed oil shilling deputy director of the USDA? Fun fact, RFK Jr. does not oversee the USDA. Meanwhile, Patel vows to punish journalists when the government decides they've done bad things. And about those classified documents, the most transparent administration in history promised you. Trump, quote, banned CBDCs only to promote them with an extra step. It's cool Trump said he wants to cut defense spending. He also recently said,
we want to raise defense spending. I think we have to have it.
The new Senate Republican budget proposal allows for $150 billion more for the military in the next 9 years. Meanwhile, Trump is funneling literal tons of weapons to Israel. He claims the US will annex Gaza, and his entire cabinet is packed with Israel bootlicking shills while he orders a multi-billion-dollar Iron Dome built over America. By the way, Biden launching airstrikes against terrorists is unconstitutional, but Trump doing it is extraordinary leadership. A government agency is looking to monitor speech for criticism of said government agency. Trump is attempting to silence speech for his handlers and just shut down a police accountability database. He's also expanding Guantanamo, a black stain on American values. His King neocon-endorsed CIA director won't reject the use of torture, but Trump's Wall Street Secretary of Commerce did say his goal is to abolish the IRS, and paying higher prices caused by government intervention is now patriotic. So bend the knee. I get that people want to feel optimistic. The ruling class has beaten them down, made them feel othered, dehumanized, and disempowered. People of all partisan persuasions have been conditioned to believe they can't save themselves, that they need politicians and oligarchs to liberate them, and because of
we, the people, are the government.
Indoctrination pushed in civics, they believe these politicians and oligarchs and the authoritarian state they rule over are actually extensions of themselves. This is a recipe for the most extreme dystopia yet. The propaganda is top tier, and the masses are now being showered with signs of hope and change, just enough that many of them will look the other way at the rapid progression of the technocratic police state and the further consolidation of power in the hands of a few. These types call anyone who questions their new narratives black-pilled. But black-pilled means cynical and negative, and many of us questioning the new regime are anything but. We simply don't believe real solutions come from government and the documented liars and megalomaniacs in control of it. Or that a few crumbs of winning will counteract the grave threats to liberty imposed by those at the top, as they always have been. And don't even think about calling me a libtard. I'm more anti-government than any MAGA bot. And my skepticism doesn't change based on who's in power. If you're watching this rapid descent into cultism and feeling disturbed and disheartened, please know you're not alone. Many of us out here aren't falling for the new regime's propaganda and will continue to question and resist government authority regardless of who's in control of it. Those of us who understand that government and the people who seek control of it aren't coming to save us will keep pushing back against the smoke and mirrors. MAGA may be celebrating their new masters in chains, but some of us don't want masters in chains for ourselves or anyone else.